So this webinar is quite personal for me as well, because I will be honest, I had this problem in my life, and that's why I also decided to work on this. There are two areas I work on: is love addiction, relationship, and business. And today we dive deep into this topic. What is love addiction? I want to begin with the question: what is actually love addiction? Isn't it sounds weird, love addiction? We can say drug addiction is a bad thing. Alcohol addiction is a bad thing. Gambling addiction is a bad thing. Sex addiction is a bad thing, because we can define alcohol, sex, food, like you name it. We can identify it as a bad things. But how love can be bad? How we can be addicted to something that is the most precious in our life. So maybe love also bad, maybe love also like an alcohol, maybe love like a drug, maybe life can be like a gambling in the same time. Or maybe there is some misunderstanding about it, maybe something is missing. And today I want to invite you to find out what is missing, and is love really a bad thing?
Hi there, Adrian here, and this is a video from a Zoom session that we do. We do these Zoom sessions every Sunday, and we take questions and answers from the audience, some of our students, some of our members. We never know what questions are coming up, so I'm always excited to do these sessions, and I hope to see you at one of them. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and check out the other playlists that we have. Thank you, enjoy.
Okay, so let's begin with identifying what is love addiction, and to identify it, first let's identify the signs of the love addiction. So I have the question for you: have you ever experienced unhealthy types of relationship? Have you ever been in love with someone or experienced some feelings that you cannot share? So have you ever been in such in this kind of relationship? Yeah, so yeah, definitely on some period of time many of us experience this this kind of emotional state, and I should say that this can't be underestimated. This is a very tough topic. And love addiction is pretty much like gambling, like drug addiction. It's a tough thing, and many crimes, many dramas happens because of love addiction. People commit suicide, people commit crimes, people got deeply depressed because this mental state, and we cannot underestimate it. But in the same time, we cannot overestimate it. I like this quote of from Valentin Rodin. He said that we cannot underestimate the problem, but we don't have to overestimate it. We cannot panic. And to resolve this problem, I offer to break this problem down into the pieces and see what can we do about it, and uncover what's behind and how we can properly solve it. So first sign of love addiction is unworthiness. Sorry, desperation. It's the state of mind where you basically don't see any options. You just see only dark side of the life, and you actually don't see the opportunities. Life become very dark, let's say. The second sign is unworthiness, and unworthiness is the place where love addiction is pretty much getting similarities with gambling, because love addicted person losing its self-esteem, his or her self-esteem by every action. And gambler, he's also losing, maybe not self-esteem, but he's losing his resources. And both of them, what is the similarity? They have the belief. They believe that they press the magic button and they will instantly like this solve the problem. But the trick is, this is the rules of inside out world where these addicted people live. The truth is that actually by making this effort, they making things worse. Step by step, they press the button and it's just getting worse. Gambler, he make a bet and he expecting the win, that he will win and he will get money and resolve all his problems, but it's not gonna happen. Even if he win, he will lose next time, even more. And love addicts, they pursue the objects, they calling, they do some actions, and by this action they just become more miserable. They just, they just making things worse. They cannot stop, and this is the main problem. They just cannot stop. They live in the illusion, and they always rationalize it, and they rationalize their steps, their actions, but by all these actions, they make things worse, and they're losing their self-esteem, they're losing their resources, they feel unworthy. With every step, they feel more unworthy. Okay, so next is if person is unworthy and desperate, of course they experience this permanent unhappiness because there is no place where they can get happiness. And gamblers, they constantly losing money. Love addicts, they constantly getting rejection, and there is no way out. Yeah, and of course there is a lack of inspiration and energy. And the reason of this lack of inspiration and energy, sometimes they can get the inspiration, to be honest, but it's just a lightning, it's just a small sign that will disappear, and they will get again surrounded by darkness. They get this inspiration and all this stuff when they have the sign that, oh, I can do it. They get excited, they get emotional, but then they get disappointed, and they just get more darkness around them. So what is the reason why this has happened? And one of the main characteristics of the addicts is that they live in fear, and fear shuts down the part of the brain. It's actually a scientific fact that it shuts down the part of brain which is actually for creativity. And if you don't have creativity, you very narrow down your decision making, and decision making become very poor. It's basically just run or fight. That's it, just only two options. So no creativity means fear. Fear means addiction. Okay, and I'm talking about it not because I read it somewhere. I talk about it because I've been there myself. And I didn't know. I never expect that I could get there, because I was always the guy who was very focused on sport. I was very focused on business, and on some level to get love addicted. That was such a I super underestimate this problem myself. I just didn't know that it can be so tough. And this knowledge and these insights I share with you, they're based on my experience and on tips and tricks and knowledge I picked up from NLP and psychology. But actually, for me, it was the way out. For me, it was just the tool to realize, oh man, stop. It's resolvable, because before I didn't see this way out. But for me, it became the way out. NLP, psychology, all these mental techniques that we use now, it became a really pretty much working way out. Okay, and I just want to share a little bit of my story, that how I actually realized that something is wrong, because when you experience this such of state, you think that actually this is normal. You think that you are okay. And for me, it was like this. I fell in love with one girl, and I struggled with her for 4 years. I just couldn't do anything. I was in love. She just constantly rejected me, and I felt miserable and more miserable and more miserable, and just continued for 4 years. When I just shut it down, and I had almost half a year in peace, I met another girl. And at the beginning, everything was fine. But then I dropped into this addicted kind of relationship where I'm in love, and the girls just don't feel anything towards me. And I was absolutely desperate. And then after this girl, it's repeated again. It's honestly, no jokes. It happened 4 times in my life. 4 times it happened in my life. Once I realized that something is totally wrong about it. Something is totally wrong, and I basically started to do some actions to step away from this unpleasant state of mind. So the main idea is that it's a big story how I get into solution. What tools I use, what steps I made, what was my path. But overall, like, the only one word describes all this journey, and this word is choice. The addicted person don't have choice, and this person can be addicted to gambling, this person can be addicted to alcohol, this person can be addicted to drugs, to love, to whatever. They just don't have choice. They don't have choice. But the choice is the natural gift for the person. And if person don't have choice, they are not in the productive state of mind. So I know it's the modern term, love addiction, but I should say you that there is not such thing as love addiction. There is only addiction or love. This is love versus addiction. So if you don't have choice, you're addicted. But if you in love, you have choice, you are in love. And this addiction can be any kind of addiction, alcohol, drugs, whatever. And it's always versus love. Okay, so with all it said, I describe you the, let's say, the problem. Now let's start to search for the solution, how we can solve this problem and what we can do about it. Okay, so before we start, I have a test for you. And I want you to answer me these questions. It would be the first step, and it would be the fundamental of our solution. Tell me, please, just look at the screen precisely and tell me, please, who is the sexy one? Who is the sexiest? This overage man or this guy? Who is the sexy one? number 1 or number 2? Who's the sexy one? Guys, I know there are only men. I know there are no women, and maybe it's difficult for you to evaluate men's sexuality, but please try just, oh, cool. Celine, like number 2, wow. Okay, that was unpredictable. Okay, I got it. Thank you for your open-mindedness. Thank you for your open-mindedness. Okay, so let's move on. Who's the sexy one? The geeky guy, this geeky guy, or trained sexy guy? Who is the sexy one? Who do you think? I'm not into big muscles. Okay, I can understand it, Celine. I can understand it. So that's what we are going to talk about. Yes, number 1. I see number 1. Okay, darker number 1. Okay, I know your taste now. Okay, so question number 3. This trained guy or this geeky guy, who is the sexy one? This geeky guy or this? Yeah, I see that number 2 start to appear more often. Of course, because Elon Musk, I hear that Elon Musk is he's not only the richest man in the world, he's now actually the sexiest man in the world, but he's super overage. Like, he's absolutely extremely overage, but in the same time, so many people find him extremely sexy. Okay, and last question. How about these women? It's for men. I think that it would be more easy for you. So how about this woman? Do you find her very attractive and sexy? Or how about this woman, number 2? Who do you think the more sexy one? Yes, number 2. But to be honest with you, this lady, number 1, she's this Jonathan Whaley. Wow, such a interesting taste. Okay, I would know. Okay, so the thing is that, are you kidding me? You really like number 1. I did. So this is what I'm telling you. This is map, not is territory. The map is not a territory for sure. Yeah. So the thing is that maybe 200 years ago, this was the idol for sexiness. So this was the sexiest lady ever. And now, even here, we see some people who are interested in lady number 1. But the common perception that lady number 2 is most of people would find more sexy one. So the main idea here is perception. Our perception identify our relationship. Identify our relationship. And okay. Perception, yes, we know perception and identify relationship, but what do we do with that? We know, okay, this is perception. How do we deal with that? What profit can we get from this insight, from understanding that perception and this, let's say, can evaluate the sexuality and increase the sexuality or decrease the sexuality? Actually, it can give us a tip, and this is the first tip, that when we see the picture, we highly likely don't see, we see just the part of this picture. So usually addicted people, they are very emotional, they are in rush, they are just, just taking this emotional decision. And this understanding, this insight about perception just can tell them, how about slow down? How about slow down and see exactly, see more precisely on the picture? Because maybe what you see is not exactly true, and what you imagine in your head. Because, for example, this geeky guy who nobody found attractive, and sexy. Actually, it's Branson. It's the head of Virgin Galactics, one of the richest men in the world. But look at him. Would you find him sexy? No. But if you look at this picture, I think that many people start to consider, okay, so it's just a foundation for getting rid of addictive type of relationship. Foundation to realize that something might be absolutely different from what we expect. And this is actually what happened to us usually when we dive into a relationship and then we realize, oh, this person is absolutely not what I expected. So this is the foundation. Slow down. And second and first step is this is the first step. We found our ground just to go slow. And going slow, we're making the first step. And first step is to adjust your focus. And how to adjust the focus? If person is addicted, his focus bound to the object, to the, let's call it a red button. For gambler, red button is a bet. For love addicted, the button is his object of love. Yeah, so to call her or him, to interact somehow, to get an approval. So this is the red button. So they self-esteem, their inner source bound to this red button, and they focus. So where is your focus? Your energy is where you focus. There is your energy. They focus there. The energy is there. They focus is targeted on this red button, and we need to unbound this focus and connect it to opportunities, to understanding. Okay, you have choice, you have options, you have this, you have that. You can operate with your life, and actually, it takes courage to unbound your focus. Like when you do meditation. Who knows how to meditate, you know that you need to consciously put the effort to switch your focus from one thought to something that you're focusing in. And this is exactly the same procedure. You're just consciously using your courage and willpower to refocus, to tighten your focus to another options. This is stage number one, and second stage is just to cut the crap like unhealthy relationship. Many times people, they just stuck in this unhealthy relationship. They just rationalize it, and usually this is just this Karpman triangle where they victim or they defender or something. They just unhealthy relationship. They just unproductive relationship, and you can ask, if you wasn't happy in this relationship for years, why do you think that 1 more month, 2 more months, 3 more months will solve this problem? Highly likely it's not going to solve the problem. You need to change the perception. You need to change the point of view. You just need to completely change something to change the pattern of this relationship. And to do that, you need to escape it. You need to black it out. You need to cut this crap intentionally, and use your courage to do that. So this is the first step. Unbound your focus, readjust your focus. Second step is to get rid of limiting beliefs. Get rid of limiting beliefs. And here are some examples of limiting beliefs that addicted people, especially love addicted people, usually live with that. They created the mindset where they stuck, and these most common limiting belief: he is or she is the only one. He is the only one. She is the only one. And this is just not true. This is just not true, because you make the person special. If you take your focus away, if you start to invest your energy into another person, this person becomes special. You make the person special. And yes, sometimes it's very difficult, sometimes it's painful. My personal story, I had business with my business partner. We didn't have relationship, but we was a very, very close friends, and we had business for 10 years. And at the beginning, it was working, but then it was just a disaster. It was just it was so difficult to start over, because you get used to this person, you count on this person, and to make this breakup, even in business relationship, you just feel powerless. I understand what I'm talking about, but sometimes you need to step out, you need to lose these resources in order to cover this hole and understand what's really going on. To understand what is this person and who you are. Just break all these energy bounds and become whole. And one more thing is, I forget to mention about adjusting focus on yourself. When you put focus to yourself, when you start to focus on yourself and understand and start to search for solution inside you, you basically bring the resource to you, and you become whole, you become more attractive, because you're generating the energy within you. You start to generate energy within you. You just, if you're conscious enough, and you can do it without ego, like you can become egoless, and you can just, okay, something happened, it's my fault. Something happened, it's my fault. What can I do about it? Something happened, it's my fault. What can I do about it? How can I change my perception? And in that case, you become really effective. You just can operate, and you just can, you just start to handle situation. You just start to create the way out of this. So some more limiting beliefs. I'm unworthy. I should deserve love. I should deserve this. So if I start to make more money, she will love me. Or if I start to do this, she will like, all this crap, all this bullshit. So yeah. So if I get this, to get this, I need that. If I get X, I will get Y. Yeah. So and one more thing, that when we're getting away from limiting beliefs, I'm not talking about there are ways to get away from limiting beliefs, and these are affirmation NLP tools that can help to get away from limiting beliefs, mantras. So these are working things. But the main thing to finally get rid of limiting belief is to get social approval. For example, if you are overweight and you use NLP technology to convince yourself that you're thin, yes, you will get this conviction until you go to the street and you will see people who will see you as an overweight person. So it doesn't work like this. NLP technologies, they can help you. They can, also they can help you to get the courage to do this. They can help you to get rid of mental obstacles to do that. Remove the psychological resistance to do that. But the best narrow path you can create, the strongest one, when you get social approval. So yes, I think this is it. Maybe just a second. I'm sorry. Okay, and one more step is to make your actions authentic. Understand your authenticity. And to understand your authenticity, you need to, it's actually one of NLP fundamentals, to get rid of codependency. Because many people, they are codependent with their parents. They are 40 years old, even 50 years old, but they behave like, but their mental age is 15 years or 20 years or even 12 years. And this is because they still codependent. They too attached to this, their parents' evaluation, so they cannot grow up. And get rid of codependency is actually, this is the fundamental for NLP, for psychology, just to, make a deal with your parents, with your mental parents, and allow yourself to grow up. And when you actually understand who you are, when you get this resource, you can identify your authentic actions. And this is actually also takes courage. When you take actions that you didn't get used to do, you're not used to do. You encounter fear. And here is one tip how to deal with fear, because many coaches, they keep telling, oh, just go to straightforward, just defeat your fears, blah, blah, blah. This is not exactly true. This is not exactly correct, because when you go directly to your fear, you can break your nose and head and bones and all this stuff. So fear actually can save your life. But there are two types of fear: rationalized fear, rational fear, and irrational fear. And you need to explore your fear, understand it, and then go for it, and just, just come into this, like switch on the light, bring the light onto the fear. I like this example with winter. Does anyone afraid of winter? I don't think that any of you are afraid of winter. But 300 years ago, or like 500 years ago, people might be afraid of winter because they didn't know what to do when it's winter. And we don't know, we afraid of unknown. But when we go to the dark room, we're afraid because we don't know what is there. But if we switch on the light, we see what's inside and we can easily go there. So actually, I think this is the most ecological way to deal with fear. Not just stupidly go into your fear, but explore it. Like Bruce Lee said, be like water. Explore it, consume it, bring the light on your fear, and then go for it. So this is how to deal with fear properly. Okay, so when you understand your actions that you need to do, for example, for addict person, let's say gambler, or let's say gambler and love addict. What would be the authentic actions for them? For gambler, why he go to casino? Because he wants to become rich. It's absolutely stupid, but this is what in his addicted inside out have. So he go to casino to get rich, and getting absolutely opposite. So what would be solution for him? To actually understand how to make money, but in an ecological way. And to do this, he has to do things that he didn't get used to do. The same comes to love addicts. So if you love addict and you're just chasing one girl, just put yourself together and start to understand how to build relationship properly with another girls. And then you realize that there are many girls you can build relationship, and you can invest in this relationship and actually build healthy relationship, cool relationship. But to do that, you need to do actions that you not get used to do. That are difficult to do, and it takes courage, and it takes ability to bring the light to the darkness, to place which seems scary. So this is the figure that represents not holistic person, that think about I think about myself one thing. I think that people think about myself something another, but actually people think about himself or himself something absolutely different. So when we do authentic action, we get the feedback, and with the feedback we can create the holistic personality, when we know what is the reaction, what people actually think about that, and what actually would be authentic result. When we do more of these actions, we understand, okay, yes, I understand, this is who I am, this is what people really think about me, and that would be the real reaction. Okay, and next step is to get back your self-esteem, and I already mentioned all these 4 steps, which are actually fundamental for bringing back the self-esteem, and that would be a great deal in order to bring back your self-esteem. When you start to do actions that bring you result, when you start to respect yourself, it's actually building your self-esteem, brick by brick, building your self-esteem. But addiction people, they have very poor dreams, they have very poor choices, and if they look back when they were kids and how they dream when they were kids, they might get so much insights and understand, wow, I'm totally missing something, I'm totally losing something. I was about to become astronaut, I was about to become millionaire, I was about to become someone, movie star, but I'm just, the only joy in my life is approval of some person or some money, some coins in the gambling machine. It's just miserable. From this perspective of a kid, you can make it very obvious and get back this excitement, that your true self. And the last step is the hot topic is to get back the sexuality. Not get back. I'm sorry. Not get back. Actually, it's opposite. To put the sexuality, explore the sexuality, and understand how to bring it on another level, because there is such a big gap in education and our understanding of what is sexuality, what is chemistry, how to build chemistry, how to build tension between partners, how to understand what is my actually sexual drive, what is my partner's sexual drive, what they really want, how I can express myself, how I can bring my dreams to come true. So this is a huge topic, and I'm not going to dive much into it. I just want to tell you that there is so much about it, and you can Google it and see. I see there are many mans here, and what is I forgot the English term, but when you okay, I just tell you one thing, that the normal sexual act should last at least 1 hour. I never know that until I met people who make sex 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. This is actually absolutely another perception, and there are many tricks for that. For example, people can the orgasm and ejaculation is not the same. You can have orgasm and not ejaculate. This is the whole another story. You can Google it and see it, and that will blow your mind. But it can actually bring your understanding of sexuality and energy and all these interactions on another level. And one last thing is to get a mindset of win win-win relationship. I know that coaches, we cannot give advice, but I think it's the fundamental for every healthy relationship, for every healthy mindset, is to build win-win relationship. Because otherwise, it's just not going to work. Win-win in love, win-win in business, win-win in every social interaction. It's very simple to understand. It's very simple to understand. Okay, I win, he wins, so nothing stops us. There is no way to, there is no reason to pull back. So when you realize it, when you install this mindset, it's actually so simplified the decision making. Okay, so let me sum up. There are 5 steps to get rid of addiction. Is to rebalance your focus, get rid of limiting beliefs, learn to take right authentic actions, understand what is your authentic actions, get the right feedbacks, and realize what's actually working for you. Get back your self-esteem and own your sexuality. So this is the way out of addiction. I not call it love addiction, I call it just addiction, because addiction is state where we don't have creativity. Creativity is ability to create. Creation, the act of love. So getting back to the question, is alcohol bad? Is gambling bad? Is games bad? Are all these things bad? Is love actually bad? I would say no. I would say no, if we treat it with consciousness, because otherwise we can make even love addiction and disaster. So, but when we treat it with consciousness and understanding, we can have amazing experience. So this is it. And yeah, I finished. Thank you very much for listening.
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.